Welcome to the Hudson Show. Coming up, another public domain character is getting a horror movie.
Also, what's the appropriate amount of money to spend on a funeral for a car?
All that and more on the way next. Hello, Allie.
Hello.
Did anything interesting happen to you this weekend?
I had a pretty chill weekend, a fun weekend for sure. Didn't get to play any pickleball. So sad
Is
about
that a requirement for a good weekend?
Almost. It just got rescheduled because the place where we played pickleball, they were doing something else that night, so we really didn't have room to play. So we're going to be playing tonight.
You got preempted on the pickleball court. Well, that sounds nice. Sorry that you had to experience that disappointment.
Yeah, I did do something else fun, but I don't want to give it away yet because I think I'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Wow. All right then. Well, then let's talk about my weekend.
Okay.
Do you have your tree up yet?
I don't. I was planning on putting it up, but
you've been talking a big game about putting up the tree.
I really have. I've been saying I feel like putting up my Christmas tree almost every day.
Yeah,
and
like a week.
I just haven't done it yet.
And I was like, you would think maybe that pickleball time might have been put towards putting up a tree.
Right. Well, I ended up doing something else during that time, so I wasn't home.
That is disappointing. So I did put up my tree this weekend.
Yay.
This Christmas season is so different for me in how normally the decorations, it's like outside is one day, inside is the other day, and possibly they're the same week. Like one is Saturday, one is Sunday, and then it's all done. It's all been in phases. So outside is like half done, but I haven't gotten to the roof yet. But like the stuff that goes in the yard is up. Then inside the tree is up, but none of the other stuff is done, which is really not as much my department. But I did get the tree up and it feels good. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, one thing I thought about this Christmas, putting up the tree, that I've never really registered with before is, so there's some ornaments that have hooks, right? Mm-hmm. I prefer the hooks.
Okay.
There's some that have the like golden string.
Yeah.
Why? Why do they have the golden string?
I know, they're really not fun.
They twist around and sometimes they get in like positions you don't want because then they're not displaying right. And like, why do the manufacturers make the string so long? You could tie like a hot air balloon down with the string on these ornaments. And so then they're drooping down so many branches and I don't understand it.
So do you have a live tree?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. I don't have a live tree either because I live in an apartment.
Yeah.
But
because it's just better to have an artificial one, let's be honest.
Oh, okay. I had an artificial one my whole life, so that's kind of what I've been used to. But I don't hate against the live trees. I think those are fun too. But I do feel like it's a lot easier to decorate an artificial tree.
Yeah, I mean, it's been long enough since I've had a real one that I'm not even sure, but I don't know. I was getting frustrated with these long golden strings. Because you can't double them up because then it just makes a tiny, I don't know what to do. I don't know what, if any
There's
professional.
No solution. Well, you could probably take the string off and like put a hook on.
That's a lot of work, isn't it? If any professional decorators have any ideas. That wasn't the only thing. I also did, I went to a tree lighting and I saw my first ever drone show.
Ooh.
It's the way of the future.
Really?
I've always said about fireworks in all of our lifetimes. I like fireworks, but what has changed about fireworks? You saw a fireworks show when you were 5, now you're 30. They're the same. Nothing has absolutely changed. Drone shows, maybe, at least at this time, the one I saw, not as fast paced as fireworks. So for our short attention spans, maybe not. It has a ways to go, but at least like I could see this drone show, this Christmas tree lighting, next Christmas tree lighting next year. I could go see the drone show. It could be completely different.
Yeah,
noticeably different.
Yeah,
than last year's. Than 2 fireworks shows 2 years apart. And doesn't bother the pets.
Yeah, that's true. Fireworks are super duper loud, especially if you're actually at a show. But I might still take fireworks over drones.
I mean, I think we could combine them. I don't want to get rid of fireworks. I just think there needs to be some innovation.
Okay, fair enough.
But that was my weekend. How does it feel right before the holidays to find out we've been lied to?
We've been duped,
bamboozled for years by Lindt, the chocolate maker. they've admitted that, you have that image. I don't know if you've seen commercials. I've seen the little displays in the stores of that chef, and he's holding a whisk with the melted chocolate dripping down off of it.
So beautiful.
Yeah. And I'm like, does that really happen? I've always thought this. And Lindt has admitted, no, it doesn't. In response to a lawsuit that was filed last year, apparently a bunch of people came together and sued a class action lawsuit against Lindt that claims that they have heavy metals in their dark chocolate. And part of that lawsuit, as it continues to work its way through courts, is that Lindt has confessed that even though it seems like premium chocolate and they've kind of branded themselves that way as a cut above, the truth is that they're no different than the lowly Hershey's or Russell Stover. Yeah, they're the same as all the other chocolate brands. And it sounds like this is just a problem overall with chocolate, especially dark chocolate, where it will have kind of the heavy metals in it, like lead and cadmium, which are found in the soil where the cocoa beans are grown. And so it just kind of happens that way. But yeah, those commercials do kind of make it seem like somebody's just, making sure none of that stuff will end up in your chocolate. Yeah, they definitely have presented it that way. I never thought about metal being in my chocolate. Me either. But I also, if anybody was going to keep the metal out, I would have thought it would be Lindt with those chocolatier chefs. Yeah. That they have in the kitchen carefully crafting all the chocolates. But apparently that's not how they do it. Not the case. I do like how it's a class action lawsuit. And I assume if the class action lawsuit winds up winning, we'll probably get a little chunk of change, literally change, like a few pennies we can put together if we win. But they have a group of residents from Alabama, California, Florida, Illinois, Nevada, and New York all together to file this lawsuit. How did they get these people? I don't know. How did they get them all to get on the same boat with this lawsuit? They all claim that they were deceived by the marketing. And they were deceived into paying higher prices for what they believe to be high quality and safe dark chocolate. Is that really anywhere on the packaging, though? Like, this dark chocolate has no metals on it or in it, Probably not. I don't know. Maybe. So, how are you deceived by that? It's just what they present to you. You know what I mean? Like, they make it seem like, but I don't know. How can you win a lawsuit if it's how can you prove any of that? Right. That's why it just seems like it's like feelings, or it's like, it made me feel it was safe. It made me feel like it was okay. Yeah. It's like, did you really think chocolate was good for you? In other words, Lindt is being sued because their commercials are too good. Their advertising is too good, and it's fooled us all. Too convincing. Yeah. Ohio State beat Indiana pretty soundly over the weekend. We talked on the show, Allie, you remember this, on Friday when we were previewing the game. I thought there could be possibly some funny business with the referees. Yep. Where they might try to, just not cheat, but just have a little more of a whistle that favors Indiana just slightly to try to keep the game close, make Indiana look a little better, maybe even get them the win so that they can make it into the college football playoff, right? I don't know about you, but I was feeling pretty vindicated about that opinion early in the game. Yeah. When it was still close. Yeah, there were some bad calls in that game. Yeah, and then I looked in this is just life. I posted it on TikTok and stuff. And there was Indiana fans that had found the video were like, "Are you kidding me? It was completely the opposite. It favored Ohio State." I was like, that's how everyone feels, right? I'm anti Ohio State as you can be, but the referees were not favoring Ohio State. I think it's pretty obvious that there were some bad calls in the game, and you don't have to be an Ohio State fan to say that. But I will say, as fans of any sport, we are always going to say that. It's no, they favored that team. They don't favor us. They miss calls on them, and so I get that, reaction from Indiana fans. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you expect it in a way, but I was, I posted that out and I was like, at the end of the first quarter, I was like, well, this is true. And then you just see all the people in the comments that are like, no, it's not. It's the opposite. The good news for Indiana is whether the refs were helpful to them or anti them or whatever, I'll tell you it was helpful to them. Florida and whoever else, Oklahoma.
Yep.
Giving Ole Miss and Alabama possible death blows to their.
It should be.
It should be.
It should be death blows. That's their third loss on the season.
Yes.
They're 4-3 in the SEC. You cannot let a 4-3 team in to the playoff.
I agree. But after this weekend, I'm starting to think that I kind of missed the 4-team playoff. It'd be so simple. You'd have Oregon play Ohio State, the winner's in. You'd have Texas play Georgia, the winner's in. Notre Dame probably in. And then Miami plays SMU. I don't know what the ACC conference. Whoever wins the ACC gets in. It'd be so simple. It'd be so simple, so easy. And instead, Indiana's going to make it still into the playoffs and get smashed by Texas or somebody, which will be fun for them to have the opportunity. But there's not enough teams to make a 12-team playoff with 12 teams that deserve it.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think there is a way where the committee could put in teams that I would consider undeserving. I'm sorry. If you are 4-3 in your conference play, you shouldn't even be given a shot. Now, we'll see the rankings come out on tomorrow night, Tuesday, and we'll probably talk about it on the show on Wednesday. But that should be the death blows to Alabama and Ole Miss. Also, Texas A&M, they lost against, who did they lose against? Auburn. And so
that's right.
They should be done too, even though they're 5-2 in the SEC. Oh. So they have a better SEC schedule, but they should be done. And so the real main teams left for the SEC should be Tennessee, Georgia. Am I missing anybody else? Texas, yeah. Right. Texas, they're in the SEC this year. So,
makes sense.
So that is how my thought process is working with this recent events from Saturday.
Now, all that said, I do feel a little bad for Texas A&M. I don't, because they're not good enough to be in the playoff. No. Even if they beat Auburn, I don't think they're maybe they're one of the 12 best teams, but they're not good enough to win a championship. But they did end in college football overtime on the 2-point conversion rule, which is the stupidest thing possibly in all of sports.
Yeah, I hate that rule.
Also, you feel bad. Again, not necessarily feel bad, but it was just crazy to see if you didn't see the ending of Arizona State BYU.
Yeah.
BYU had a chance, which is another ridiculous thing. Arizona State has a legitimate chance to be in the playoff. There's no shot they should be in any playoff. Maybe whatever.
They don't have 3 losses.
No, they don't. But they've also played the Big 12, which is basically a mid-major conference.
Yeah, it's a group of 5 at this point.
But you should look up the ending to that game because that was insane if you missed it. I want everyone to take a moment, think in your mind all of the public domain horror movies that have been made in the last few years and try to guess what the next character that has hit that point in their intellectual property run, which that could be. You can just guess for a moment. The answer is Popeye, the Sailor Man. Now, Allie, I know you're a bit of a horror movie. Would you consider yourself an aficionado, connoisseur?
Connoisseur. I wouldn't say I'm like somebody that knows the genre, entirely. But I do enjoy a horror movie.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. You don't have an encyclopedic knowledge.
Yeah.
But you enjoy a good horror movie. So how do you feel about like that Winnie the Pooh one that has spawned its whole like Disney horror universe?
Yeah, not a fan. Haven't watched it, to be fair, so I don't know if it's really any good or not. I know the reviews are not great,
no,
but
they are not.
So I have not given it a shot, mainly because Winnie the Pooh was such a big part of my childhood. I really don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, they look so, there's a lot of, because they look cheap.
Yeah.
They look cheap. They look...
little Five Nights at Freddy's-esque.
Yeah. And yeah, it just feels like there's not a lot of thought. It's just like, let's, we'll have a kind of Winnie the Pooh looking thing, kind of Piglet looking thing. We'll probably get some like ladies to be mostly naked, and then we'll kill them. And somebody will watch that.
That's right.
More than would watch it if we didn't have Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably true, and it's worked out. But now Popeye gets to be the one with that treatment. They're calling it Popeye the Slayer Man, expected to release sometime in the new year. I really feel, though, as much as I like Popeye, I don't think that Popeye has the capture.
Reach.
Yeah, the reach that Winnie the Pooh does. I don't know if he's still as cherished of a character as Winnie the Pooh at this time in our history.
So, yeah, that's a fair point. The one thing that I'm confused about is, are they making like Popeye the villain? Like, is he like some type of serial killer? Like he's slaying people, you beating people up with spinach? Who knows what he's doing? But
there's only one way to find out.
And but I don't want to do that. I don't want to find out. But yeah, that's definitely worrisome. But I do have to say the title, like the play on Popeye the Sailor Man, that is creative.
That's one of the best things they've gotten to so far with these public domain horror movies. But I do, based off of the name Popeye the Slayer Man, I feel like he would be the bad guy, but maybe he's kind of like an anti-hero type of thing. Maybe, what is it, Bluto? Maybe Bluto is the killer, and Popeye is just around to defeat him.
What's Olive Oil doing?
Yeah, right. Well, she's in danger, probably.
She needs some rescuing, as usual. That aspect of it won't change at all.
No, yeah. and Wimpy, meanwhile, will be asking for a hamburger up and willing to pay a few days from now.
I think I'll just stick with the Robin Williams Popeye.
I also think I'm stretching everybody else's knowledge but mine of Popeye. They're like, did that happen in the... I don't remember. I didn't watch enough Popeye to know. I did. One of the things here on the Hudson Show that we consider sacred is vacation. Mm-hmm. You do not mess with another person's vacation. And when you take a vacation, you enjoy it. There's just not many better things, not many more important things in life. That said, I am torn on this new research that has been done by Cassie Holmes. She is a happiness researcher trying to find the ways to make people the happiest they can be. She claims to be the happiest you can be, you need to treat your weekend like a vacation. Every single weekend, you need to have a vacation mindset. She says that typically people have a routine they get into on their weekends. Yeah. But that's different than on vacation, where you definitely have a different mindset on vacation than you do on your weekend routine for many people. And so the way she proved this is on a Friday, she told 400 workers.
Some of the group of 400.
Yeah, part of them, she told them, go home and treat your weekend like a vacation. The other ones, go home and treat your weekend like you would any other weekend. When they returned, all the workers returned on Monday, the ones that treated it like a vacation reported more satisfaction and positivity.
Well, duh. Obviously, if you're going to be in vacation mode over the weekend, you're going to be happier.
So you don't buy this idea?
Well, first of all, I think it's incredibly unrealistic to be like, hey, treat your weekend like a vacation, because there are some weekends where you have to run errands and you have to do things like go shopping, get gas in the car, different things like that. So I think it's a little unrealistic to expect everybody to be able to treat their weekend like a vacation.
I think it is unrealistic, and I was thinking this too. Like, one of the things that makes vacation fun is you eat out more, you spend more money and do more fun things than you would do. I mean, I like to relax on vacation too, but I like to be able to have stuff to do. So if I treat every weekend like a vacation, I'm going to spend all the money that I could spend on vacations on weekends and then some. And so I'm going to run out of money even faster than I do already. So I don't know if I can realistically do that. I think you got to have a mix. I think some weekends are for getting stuff done that isn't work, but like is home stuff. And some weekends are for relaxing, and some are for the fun, go get 'em vacation kind of mindset. And you just got to have a mix of all three.
Yeah, I agree completely, because a couple weekends ago I was really tired, and I ended up just like staying home and chilling. And I know we talked last week about like what's your perfect night in. I did one of those perfect nights, on Saturday night. So that is something where I feel like you kind of just have to suss it out for yourself to see if you do need to have more of a vacation-like weekend. But I just think to expect everybody to be able to do this all the time, it's just, you can't. There's a way.
I think the Monday after you treat your first weekend like a vacation, you're going to feel good on that Monday.
Yeah, on that first one.
You permanently, that thought process, yes, you're not going to be as happy and have such positivity and satisfaction if you run out of money because you're spending it on your weekends. You're also if you're having to cram all of your other like errands and chores and everything into your work week, and so you can leave the weekend for vacation mode, you're also going to be even more unhappy Monday through Friday when you're like, I have to go home and I have to do all this stuff when I get back after I worked all day. Trust me, that is not a good mindset to have either. So in moderation.
Yes.
Allie, forgive me if you've shared this information before, but you've been to Disney World, right?
I've been to Disney World and Disneyland.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now, how upset would you be if I told you that at Disney World, specifically at what is called, I believe, Hollywood Studios, where they have that Muppets 3D show, they're getting rid of it?
No, I love the Muppets, but also I can't act surprised because I already know that we were talking about the story, so I already know that this change is coming.
I just didn't know if, like, how attached you were to that, since you've been, if that was going to be a real. What if I told you that, and for everyone, you know, that is just now hearing of this information, they might be very upset because they might be thinking the Muppets are going to be done at Disney World.
Yeah.
The good news is the hand strikes and gives the flower, as we say, that the Muppets are not going away, but they are just being transported to elsewhere in Hollywood Studios, where they will now replace Aerosmith at the Rock and Roller Coaster. So for all the people, the Aerosmith fans,
they're the ones that get the axe.
I have no good news for you if you really love Steven Tyler, but the Muppets are being moved. They will no longer be that 3D show. Instead, that's going to be replaced by something with Monsters, Inc. involved.
Yes.
What are your thoughts and feelings on all of this?
So I guess I'm probably not the person that you would talk to that's like super attached to this specific, you know, Muppets 3D show. I do love the Muppets, so I was going to be very upset if they took them out entirely.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that they're keeping them in the park in just a different way, obviously. But I will say I am a big Monsters, Inc. fan. I love Monsters, Inc. and I love Monsters University, which was like the prequel that they did. So I'm excited to see what they do with that. It looks like from the sketches, it's going to be like the warehouse where they work, you know? So that's kind of fun.
And it's going to be like 3D or, you know, like with all the effects and whatever that the Muppet Show had. I feel like the monsters could lend themselves well to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Disney could do good with that. But as a rabid Muppets fan as well, I do wish that they didn't have to end this show permanently. In fact, I'm glad they're taking over the Rock and Roller Coaster, but I have my sights set a little higher. I say, why not give the Muppets their whole own park in Disneyland, Disney World?
That would be so fun.
Just take the Animal Kingdom and turn it entirely into the Muppets Land. I think it'd be better if they did that.
No, I love the Animal Kingdom.
You've been to actual Africa. You lived there for so long, and you think the Animal Kingdom is fun.
Well, I just think it's cool that there's a part of the park that's dedicated to animals. But I do get what you mean. It'd be cool if there was like a Muppets area. That would be fun. Like there's, I know for like Cedar Point and Kings Island, they have like Snoopy Land that's dedicated to the Peanuts. I always love those areas. So that would be cool to see that for the Muppets.
Even though the Snoopy Land is like generally for children, right?
It has cool rides that adults can ride too. What are you talking about, Hudson? What are you saying here?
I don't know if I want the Muppets compared to the Snoopy Land. That's all I'm saying. Although I do love Snoopy too. The Hudson hotline is open.
877-2-RADIO-U.
We're asking what would be the best fast food restaurant if you had to go to a fast food restaurant on a first date. Which one would be the best? You can let us know your thoughts. I do have the actual answers here in front of me of what a recent survey says, but some of the people chiming in. Charles simply says Wendy's.
Okay.
I like Wendy's. I don't know about for a date, but they did what McDonald's, they're now doing what McDonald's used to do.
$1 drinks.
The dollar sodas.
Yeah.
Come on, McDonald's. Is it that hard to be able to do that? Justin says, how do you say
it's Payway. Yeah.
Payway or PF Chang's. He wants to have Chinese.
American Chinese food.
PF Chang's, is that fast food?
I would consider it to be fast food, but I would consider it more like the higher end. It's It's pretty good.
I feel like you almost need to have a drive-through to be considered for this.
I think some PF Chang's do have drive-thrus.
I guess he also says that the Hudson Show fans are degenerates, not groupies.
Oh, wow. The self-degradation.
Ryan says Cane's, who doesn't like chicken fingers.
Okay.
That's and One Love. It's like in the name. So I feel like that should be a good start. I have Molly here on the phone. Molly, what's your choice?
I have to say Donato's. It's where my husband and I went on our first date, and then he took me back there to propose.
Don't tell me you got married there too, though.
I didn't. They did not cater our wedding, though that was a good idea.
Does Donato's count as fast food?
That's hard.
I mean, if PF Chang's counts.
Yeah. Pizza places, it's hard to say it's like fast because I feel like some of those take a while to make the pizza, but
you just have to call ahead.
Yeah. But I'll give it to Molly for that for sure.
Regina says Chick-fil-A all day, superior to Popeyes. Obviously, that is wrong. What is your choice?
I agree with Regina, Chick-fil-A. And I have to give a shout out to cousin Kathy who texted me and said she would also choose Chick-fil-A. And she reminded me of something that I kind of forgot about. If you go to a date at Chick-fil-A, they have fresh flowers on the tables.
Oh, so romantic.
It's a little bit more romantic setting.
You guys are actually technically correct. According to this survey of 3,000 singles, Chick-fil-A was the number one answer for fast food first dates. Only 16% though, so far from a
big win.
A majority. But Chick-fil-A did come in at number one. Speaking of flowers on the tables, this is so weird. When I was coming back from Tennessee earlier this year, I stopped at a Sonic that had an inside, first of all, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And on all of the tables inside, they had like little flower arrangements that I feel like somebody worked very hard on.
Wow.
It seemed like they really tried to make the inside of the Sonic actually have a nice ambiance.
They were putting some effort in.
Yeah. And then the employees were like cursing and stuff. So I don't know. Kind of ruined it. But
no.
Chick-fil-A was number one on the list. That makes sense. Like you can find out, you take somebody to Chick-fil-A, not only are you getting a pretty good bang for your buck, like it's good food, but also like you can at least rule out that they hate God if they're willing to go to Chick-fil-A. Dairy Queen came in second.
Okay.
Followed by Sonic.
Oh.
And Pizza Hut.
Okay, so they do count pizza as the fast food. Okay.
I feel like they didn't ask about Donato's. Maybe it's not national enough, but Donato's is, as I do like Pizza Hut, but Donato's superior.
It's absolutely so much better.
I like Dairy Queen though, because like then,
ice cream date. That's a
that's
fun
what
date.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Now Dairy Queen, probably if I'm picking ice cream, that's not where my first choice is going to be.
Yeah, I'd probably go Grater's or something like that.
Right. You're like, you want to go a little higher end, but maybe Grater's doesn't have chicken fingers.
Yeah.
And they might not be the best, but if you're hungry, you can just dip them in the ice cream and you probably won't even notice. So. And no Monday would be complete without our Monday tradition, the box office breakdown, looking at what made money and what didn't in theaters over the weekend. I'll tell you what made money is Wicked, which inexplicably made $114 million in North America this weekend. Ooh. To get to number one. So it did pretty good, and it did beat out Gladiator II for the number one spot in theaters. Gladiator 2 made $55 million, which was a little short of their projections, so not quite as good, but I think it still should, with the worldwide stuff, get back to breaking even. Mm-hmm. And then Red 1 was number 3, the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Christmas movie. It made another $13 million. I did see a lot of people chiming in with what they've seen over the weekend, Allie. We heard from Regina, who saw Wicked.
Oh.
She says, I saw Wicked and it was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't recall if they were following the musical in this, but some changes I wish they'd stuck to the book is her review.
Okay.
But other than that, awesome.
Yeah, there were a few changes, but I didn't feel like it was dramatic.
Oh, so you saw it?
Oh, I guess I just gave it away. Yeah, that's what I was like hiding when you asked me what I did over the weekend. That was the one part I left out, was I did go see Wicked.
And what is your review of Wicked?
I loved it so much. It's part one of the story, and so they end it with a whole to be continued, thing.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, I don't want to give any spoilers away because obviously there's several people who probably haven't seen it yet that are planning to see it, but there's some great cameos in the movie. The music is amazing, and I definitely cried when when Cynthia sang Defying Gravity because she killed it.
Okay. You mean Alphaba.
No, Elphaba. Or if you can't say it, you could always do what Glenda's character does, which is she just shortens it to Elfie.
Oh, okay. That sounds so cute. Jamie says she saw Red 1 yesterday, and she thought it was pretty well done. It had some good action scenes with some pretty fun lines mixed in.
Okay,
That's
nice.
better than I might have expected.
Yeah.
Of a review from Red 1. I did not go to the theaters over the weekend. However, I did see something new, and that was the new Jim Gaffigan comedy special.
Oh, yeah, on Hulu.
The Skinny on Hulu. I laughed. It's not his best special. Mrs. Hudson commented that some of the jokes feel like he is aging into full dad mode, as in like the kind of jokes that if you're online, you've seen these jokes made in some kind of way before, but now it's just Jim Gaffigan delivering them instead of them being a meme or whatever.
Yeah.
But still, he had some good takes on stuff. It was funny. And then I also watched my first Christmas movie of the year. You'll never guess what it was. Go ahead, guess.
Oh, I'll never guess, but
it was
go
on
ahead.
Disney Plus.
Oh, on Disney Plus. I don't know. What was it?
Dashing Through the Snow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do you know which one that is?
I think so.
With Ludacris.
Yes, I have unfortunately seen that movie.
I watched that last year too, and it was like, this is okay. And then somebody said, let's watch that this weekend. And so we did. And you know what? It is okay. It's not like a traditional Christmas movie that you need to make sure you watch every year, but it's like you're not upset that you turn it on.
Yeah. And
Lil Rel Howery as Santa. He's a fun Santa. Actually, I just think he's fun in anything.
Yeah.
Like even if the rest of the movie is bad, if he's in the movie, I'm going to enjoy the parts that he's in. So Ludacris, not as much. He's not. I know he's in the Fast and Furious movies and stuff.
And the State Farm commercials.
Yeah, just not much of an actor.
No.
I don't know if stick to music, Luda. That's your box office breakdown. Doing a food fight. We are celebrating Thanksgiving early with Krispy Kreme's Thanksgiving Pie Donuts. To be fair, they've been celebrating Thanksgiving since November 7th is when these debuted. They go away right after Thanksgiving. So if you wanted to taste these, you got to act fast. There are 4 flavors: chocolate silk pie, blueberry crisp, apple crumble, and lemon cream pie. You know, the Thanksgiving pies that we all know and are familiar with. Allie, which of these, based off of name alone, do you think would you like the most or least?
I think the chocolate one I'll probably like the most, but I also am a big fan of blueberry muffins, so I might like the blueberry.
So do you want to try one that you think you'll like first, or try one of the nastier possible ones and get it out of the way?
I think the one that I'm going to dislike the most, what did you say was lemon lime?
There's a lemon cream pie.
Yeah, I think that one might be the one I don't like.
Really? That sounds so good to me. I was going to show these on the camera for anybody watching on the RadioU, Hudson RadioU YouTube channel or Facebook page. This is what they look like before we cut them all up. So lemon first.
Yeah, let's try the lemon.
All right. See what you think. I'm got to eat very delicately because I got to touch buttons here and it's going to get sticky.
Oh, yeah. All of them, of course, have an insane amount of filling.
Mm-hmm. Which is good. That's lemony.
That's a lot of filling.
Not your style.
It's too tangy.
Yeah, not as sweet.
Yeah.
It's definitely, I don't mind it, but if I'm going to Krispy Kreme, is that all the choices of donuts and I'm going to pick the lemon cream pie one? I don't think so.
I feel like the filling to donut ratio is off. There's too much filling.
All right, you choose next.
Okay, let's
What's
do
next?
the apple one next.
Apple crumble, which is not even a pie. It's just a crumble.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I like this one much better.
That's solid.
That's good.
That's much closer to the territory of I might actually order that.
Yep, and the ratio is much better because there's still filling for that one, but it was evened out.
It wasn't too
I'm
much.
looking for.
Yeah, it wasn't all up in your face, all up in your business. Okay, so now we still have the blueberry crisp and the chocolate silk pie.
You want to do chocolate next?
And you're holding the chocolate, so
I was already picked up the chocolate, so let's do chocolate.
I think you already made up your mind.
Right.
This has like little pencil shavings of chocolate on it.
Ooh,
So
I think I'm gonna like it.
I mean, that's basically a chocolate donut.
Chocolate donut. That's what that is.
What's not to like about that? On the sweeter end, actually.
Yeah, very sweet.
That's the sweetest one we've had so far. And
I
that
need a second from that one.
it does feel like that could overpower whatever you eat next.
Yeah,
which in this case would be the blueberry crisp.
Probably should have saved that one for last, but well.
Blueberry is a very strong flavor too. I don't typically like blueberry things, so this might not be my style.
All right, I'm excited.
Not bad.
It's chilled.
Yeah, why is that one colder?
I don't know.
It came out of the freezer more recently. They started thawing that one the most recently.
I like it.
That's blueberry is not my style, but I didn't spit it out. So the ranking, I think I like the apple one the best.
I would agree. I think the apple's the best. For me, the blueberry would go second. Then I would do chocolate, and then at the very, very bottom is the lemon one. The lemon one was not good, in my opinion.
I would have the blueberry lower than the lemon, but the truth is, like, I do think the apple one is the best. The chocolate one's basically a normal donut.
Yeah, there's nothing special about it.
But they, first of all, do not scream Thanksgiving at all. And secondly, I still think that there's like at least 6 other donuts at Krispy Kreme I'd order before any of these.
Yeah.
I could easily fill a box with other flavors that I would choose instead of these. So.
Right.
But not bad. It's Krispy Kreme. How bad do you expect it to be? It's not bad.
Yeah.
This is actually crazy. A family in India has gone viral after they recently spent over $4,000 to give their family SUV, station wagon, hatchback, whatever, a proper burial. Instead of sending it to a scrapyard, they had a funeral for their car, for their vehicle. They spent over $4,000 on it, but here's what's crazier to me. The funeral was attended by 1,500 people.
That's crazy.
How do you get 1,500 people to go anywhere?
To attend a funeral for a car?
Do you think they lied to these people? Or did they get the people to go by giving the money to them? Is that what they spent the money on?
Maybe they just advertised it because apparently this family is like super wealthy. So maybe they're very like popular in the wherever this is, like in the city. But I'm wondering if they just advertised it as like the Polera family is having a funeral. People were like, oh, let me go, pass my condolences to this very respected family in our community. And it's for their car.
Yeah. They definitely had to have lied or not been clear about what the funeral was for until everyone was there. And everyone's looking for, like, is there a casket? Is there, like a picture of the person who's passed away?
They're looking around. It's
a car.
Here comes a van.
Yeah. You're right. They said they are very wealthy. The owner of the car said that he owns several more expensive cars, including an Audi, but the Wagon R, a Suzuki Wagon R is the car that they buried, was instrumental in achieving prosperity for his family, so he wanted to do something special for it.
Interesting. I guess that makes a little... it doesn't make any sense to me.
If you are wealthy and $4,000 is nothing to you, then I guess sure. If you had to hold a funeral for a...
Inanimate object.
Yes, you can say it better than me. What would your item be?
What would it be? Is there an object that I treasure that much?
I mean, the answer is no, there's not.
There's
but
really
if you had to.
Maybe like when I was a kid, maybe it was like my bike or something, because I loved my bike. I would ride it all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe that.
Okay, go T-Hook. I'm thinking like as an adult, maybe like a mattress. I spent more time with that than anything.
That's a good one.
It's been through a lot, me and that mattress. So maybe.
As long as you're sleeping well. But what if you sleep terribly?
Oh, yeah. Then it's like the scene from Office Space, and I go out with a baseball bat. It's really not very therapeutic when it's a mattress, is it?
Yeah.
If it kept me from sleeping. I don't know. I think a lot of people could say foam, but don't you replace that so often that like...
You don't really get attached to it.
Yeah, but that also could be the right answer based off of how important it is to your life
right.
at this point. Maybe a computer. I don't know. Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.